just waiting 1 more minute, okay, just for the late ones to join us. It's the end of the day, we already worked a full day, so let's give a little bit more for the persons that are still joining to be able to park the car. Okay? We will try with microphones. Usually we don't need these in a small room. If the sound gets worse, then we will just turn it off.
I speak loud.
You speak loud?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, they told us that guys down there, they cannot listen to it. Is it okay? The sound is okay?
Yes.
Yes? Can we skip it?
I think so.
Okay.
Can get unplugged.
We can get unplugged. So let's see, if the sound is not good enough, then we will switch them again.
Oh, okay.
Just give it.
Wait. Thank you.
Okay. So I think we can start while the other ones are still joining. So welcome to this self-focused quality meetup. It's the first one that we do in this model, face-to-face. We did some before, but it was all online, the new reality. But I'm glad that we were able to do this one face-to-face and to bring you all to this event. And especially today, as you can see in the topic, women in testing. We will be celebrating Women's Day soon, right, on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. But Friday, as you know, it's not the best day to do meetups. So we tried to do meetup a little bit earlier, and that's why we are doing it today. So everyone could join, but as you can see from the audience, most of you are included on this group. I don't know if the message was not clear or not, but yes, this was open for everyone. So let me start by quickly introducing the audience, the speakers, just the names, and then we will have time during the next hour to go through a little bit more of the details. Okay. So starting on my right side, Joana. She's the president of the Portuguese Software Testing and Qualification Board. Okay. So thank you, Joana.
Thank you for the invitation, yes.
So Joana is not a newcomer for this house, so she knows this house quite well. But we will go into that a little bit later. Then we have Patrícia. Patrícia is leading, I will say, a Portuguese local community, and also a chapter lead for the Women Who Test, right?
Exactly.
Local chapter. So also, thank you. And then we have Klaudia from Germany, and president of the ISTQB. And I would like once again to say thank you to Klaudia, because she just returned from Kenya on the weekend, right? Wow. And then she just landed in Munich, and then she got into another plane to be able to join us here today for this meetup. And whenever I see someone complaining about we need to drive or we need to walk for the meetup, Klaudia.
What if it's a long walk?
Klaudia did a little bit more today. So, Klaudia, thank you for being able to join us. And then we have Rita. Some of you know her, sure. She's from our management team, qualifications management team here at Self-Focus, and she is also responsible for the Middle East team and our QA team that we have in Cairo. Okay. So thank you also, Rita, for being here.
Don't thank me.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, so if you have also any questions or anything that you would like to discuss, please raise your hand, okay, and you can put that question. If not, I have a list of questions. I have some curiosities. And to start, I would like to ask you, and Klaudia, I will ask you first, and then we'll move to the other ones, to know a little bit about your background. How did you start in the QA world?
Yeah. So I did study computer science back in the last millennium already at a university in Germany. Then I went abroad, did my master's in the US, and then I came back and did actually a PhD in computer science, not on software QA, not on testing, but on heuristic optimization algorithms, which is something else. And then I was looking for a place to work, looking at the baby, for a place to work which would be close enough to our home so that I could pick up the kids from kindergarten easily within 10, 15 minutes. And that was actually the spot when I found the company I'm still working with. So Imbus was 10 minutes by car, 8 minutes by car, easy to fetch the kids and go back. And that's how I ended up with QA, actually. So I didn't have it at the university. Back then, that was the last millennium. That was before ISTQB even started. So there was no clear idea what a software tester actually is. And back then, honestly, it was only training on the job. So you learn as you go along. And the overall motions in the first companies and the first projects I've been working with, or I've been working in, was the testers are the people that are not good enough at programming, so they go to quality assurance and testing. And I'm very happy that that changed. And since then, it has been for me a very exciting story, because from manual test automation, test management, test process improvement, trainer, member of the local board, member of ISTP, it's like taking one step at a time, but going along with it. And besides that, we have 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl.
Wow.
It's manageable. You need to manage it, and you need a good support, but it's manageable.
Thank you. Oh, Joana.
Okay, so I have also a degree in computer science. I started my career 18 years ago as a SAP consultant. One day my director called me to help in a project that was delayed and need to be delivered, and we need to do automation tests to deliver that project. So I entered in that project to be there 1 month. I stayed there 2 years and I didn't change anymore. When I was there, my test manager invited me to go to assist to a test in Portugal where he will be a speaker. We were in 2011. So we entered in a room around 40 people. In this moment we have 500 in testing Portugal. But that was the moment that I understand that testing was a career. When I saw that room, in that time I saw that room was full of people talking and discussing about testing. I understand, oh, this is a career, because until that time I didn't understand that. So I am making my journey through automation testing, test manager, functional testing, manual functional. In this moment I work in Actions. I was in Novabas, like Joel already said. In 2018, I started to work as volunteer in PSTQB, and since then I continue there. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, well, long way until becoming president of the Portuguese board.
Step by step, like
Step by step.
slowly, yeah. It's very important.
And Patrícia, do you want also to share your
Yeah,
experience?
so I also take a bachelor and master degree in computer science. I work in QA area for 11 years. I also had 2 experience before, one as sub consultant and one also as a developer. And when I had the chance to go to quality to be a tester, I thought, okay, I remember that in my university, in the master degree, there was a discipline about quality and audit, and I thought, why not? I remember some things about that, why not to try? And I really liked, and I've been developing my career in there. So I've been through several companies, different cultures, different teams. Currently, I don't work to Portugal. I work for an Italian company. And aside of that, I work mainly on functional and management part, and I'm also part of communities. So I'm part of Geek Girls Portugal. I don't know if you heard about. I invite all the women in here to search for the group and be part of it. I'm also a member of Girls Testing, which the founder is Connie, who is in there. And recently, yeah, so Girls Testing is also really interested and a really nice group, so I invite all of you to participate as well. Last year, I became the chapter lead of Women in Test, and I also create a project from myself that it's called Aqui à Portuguesa, where via Instagram and YouTube I share information about what it's to work in quality assurance, what is the daily base of a quality, what it's really behind just the idea of just testing, clicking in buttons and reporting issues. It's much more than that, and I try to demystify many of those things, so I also invite you to follow that. So my page. So that's it.
Quite busy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Rita, I know
Okay,
that
so-
you are also busy, so
Yeah, I'm not from computer science. I'm from biotechnology engineer, and I start on testing by a chance of luck. I was working in Telecel at that time. It was like back in 2005. It was before Vodafone, and I was using a software that didn't make my life easy. So I had a lot of, now I know defects on the software, but things that were not working. And so I was just always complaining and to whom should I report the things that are not working. So I was invited to work with the development team to report all my issues and to understand what was not working there. And that went well. So I was invited by Vodafone to be in a role as a mobile testing, Vodafone mobile testing apps. And then I realized that being a tester was a career. At that time I didn't realize that it was possible to be paid and to try new things in devices. So it was very fun because I had a lot of different devices and a lot of apps to test, and I loved it, what I was doing. I didn't know anything regarding testing, so I was working with all the Vodafones around the world, and I made a lot of questions to everybody because I wanted to learn how to do my job. And we could not Google it at that time, it was not that reachable, and there was a lot of people with a lot of patients that taught me and sent me a lot of papers to understand how to install apps and things like that. And it was very fun because I was really enjoying what I was doing. Then in 2014 I joined Self-Ops, and it is being a long ride of learning, growing step by step. So I started as a functional tester, and now, as you said, I'm managing the QA team in Cairo, and I'm in a Middle East project. And it's been a wonderful experience so far.
yeah, it's great to have you on board for sure. And as you saw, most of us, and I think I'm talking for myself and probably also for you, most of us started in QA almost like by coincidence or by mistake, right? It was something that was not planned. When I go back on time when we started, or when we decided to start the Portuguese board, there was nothing in Portugal that we could call like a QA community. Today, we have lots of them. So that's, in a small country like ours, it's quite nice to see that, the multiple communities. Even the conference, we had like 40 people. Wow, that's like a small meetup. But for us at that time was amazing. Now we have 500, right?
Yeah.
And it's always crowded and full of energy. So it's good to see that the career is evolving. But this does not come without challenge, right? And I always have these questions, well, how can you do it? So you have a team to manage, you are in a project, and you are also in ISTV, and you are also on PSTV, and you are also in conference, but I'm not a woman. So, I know over it, but I know that becoming trying to do this and being a woman, it's even more challenge, right, Patricia? Can you?
We can say that way, based on the perception that, as you were saying, the perception that the world and the environment and the teams have of what it's to be a woman and what it's to be in a position where we can take some lead, where we can have a voice. So it's most cultural. So as you were saying, it's not expected to be a woman and having so many things, but we can manage as the way that men should do. So we can split and divide all our duties, and we are all able to be in here. So
How can you be on all these different communities?
yeah,
So
I
that's a
have a
challenge,
lot
right?
of time management. Yeah, time management. Yeah.
Okay. And Klaudia, being mom is an additional challenge in top of everything else, right? And also being a teacher and a trainer and as a consultant. and,
Mother.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to be very well organized. I think you need a very good support network around you, having a nanny, having relatives around that if you're going, and now our kids are already grown up, right? Remember, I studied in the last millennium, which is already some time ago, so the youngest is 19, which is, I guess he's happy when I'm gone now. Back then, you needed support, so you needed somebody, if you go to conferences, if you go to customers, you're just doing, before Corona, going to do a consulting job, you had to go to somewhere, you couldn't do it by phone. You need support, and I was very fortunate that I have a very good relation with my husband, which sounds a little weird, but we kind of split the work. We had like an agreement that for the next career step we would toggle. I could choose where to go next, and then he would choose the next step. So we also shared the career path and the taking care of the family. And actually, one step for me when I started with the company I'm still working with, which is just doing QA and testing, they wanted to start up a new branch or a new office site in Munich, which is about 180 kilometers from where we live. And then our son was 1.5 and our daughter was 5. And then he said, go, because you're going to regret it if you don't try it. So go. And then actually he reduced his working hours from 40 to 30. So, but you need somebody like that. You need a support. I think doing it as a single mom, and I don't know how many single moms are here, I think is way harder. I think that is way harder. And with respect to the other jobs, having also a multitude like you, I think it depends if you really love what you do and you really feel that you have a mission and you want to achieve something, you just do it, like flying 3 hours to get here for a meetup. Plus driving, all the stuff. So yeah, I think it goes well together, and we can do it. It's not that we wouldn't be able to achieve that. We can do it.
Yes, we have superpowers.
You know, I was at this conference in Kenya 2 weeks ago, and there was the question, what can we as women add more than men? That is a tricky question. That is a tricky question, since we don't want to offend anybody, and I think in principle we can all do the same. Superpowers, but perhaps we're a little better at communicating.
Yes, I believe so. And I know this is like common sense and everybody is always saying the same, but I believe that our real skills on multitasking and time management helps us on the bazillions of different tasks that we do along the way, and especially in planning and making it happen.
Yeah.
That's why I have superpowers.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I can subscribe that because my wife just drives me crazy when she's being able to manage all different subjects and switching from one subject to the other while my brain is still on the
Like
first.
the eye.
So I try to use the same speed, but yeah, I can understand the superpowers. Joana, moving to you. Do you have any superpower that you'd like to share with us?
For sure. For sure.
So I'm with Klaudia. I also have three kids, and my youngest is 4 years old. It's not easy, yes. There is a lot of management that we have to do to organize our professional life and our work-life balance, and to continue supporting our kids and also continuing growing up in our jobs. Because not a few years ago, a man had more opportunities than women because of the kids. So the woman was the one that had to be in house taking care of the kids. The woman can't make more hours
Talking about cultural difference, right? Claudia, you just came from Kenya,
Yeah.
and you also have German culture. What do you see as common and different between Europe and Africa, for example,
Yeah.
Kenya in that case?
That was actually very interesting. We had a similar session like here. We also had it was a 2-day conference with 2 parallel tracks, and in one of the tracks we had the women in testing with, I think, also 4 ladies up front. And there are similarities in the question, how do you do family management, job management, so the work-life balance, exactly what you said. I learned a new term, mom guilt. If you're mom guilt,
Okay.
guilt, feel
Yes.
guilty
Yes.
not being around. I didn't know that before. So that was the same. That was definitely the same. But in Kenya, I was a little shocked, perhaps because I didn't think about it good enough before, when they were saying girls in rural areas, they're expected to take care of the siblings, they're expected to take care of the household, they're expected to go walk, get the water. So they have completely different problems yet. So I think in Nairobi, the conference was in Nairobi, it's a different story, and we had a number of female lecturers, so that was fine, and actually also very good presentations. But just listening to the UN women representative and talking about having campaigns in the rural areas, how to make them aware of technology, how to see that the uptake of technology is being handled, talking about some water dispense system to get clean water. It's like we take it for granted. And so there are huge differences. There are huge differences.
And Rita, you also moved from Ireland to Middle East, right? What is?
Oh yeah.
Can you share your experience? That's also
Well,
different.
Yes. In Vodafone Ireland, it was not that easy as well, but not because of the culture of the country or the client itself, but because of some of the stakeholders. And we work with, and the empowerment of women in their culture was not that high, let's say like this. So I had to deal with a lot of QA leaders, test managers, special roles, spokes, all men. And sometimes it was difficult because, well, I have a full package personality, like I normally say. I speak loud, I laugh louder, so normally I'm not invisible in a room. And sometimes I felt invisible because I was speaking and then they just ignore what I was saying and they start speaking to the other tester that was a male, a man. And that made me very angry. And normally when that happens, I speak louder because if they did listen at the first time, probably they are somehow deaf. So let's speak louder and make them hear me. Okay? So that was a rough environment. Moving to KS, so I was in a rough environment. In the end, I gained my space, my role, and everybody knew that I was the key lead, and everybody respected me, but it was difficult to reach that. When I moved to KSA, to a project in KSA, in my mind it was a nightmare, because of all the things that we hear from how life is in Saudi Arabia. And I shared with Luis the first time that I went there. Well, in my mind it was awful, it was meh, not that bad. So, regarding the environment, the country itself. But in here, it's not just a stakeholder, it's the whole country, it's the client, it's the environment. Sometimes I'm the only woman in the room, so we work in a workspace, in an open workspace, and I'm the only woman. And that was strange, and it made me to realize the difference, the culture there, and again, I was invisible some of the times, because I was sitting working as a test manager in a project of migration, and they needed something from me, and they would ask the manager that was sitting on my side and say, "Nun, can you ask Anna to do?" I'm here, you know. I'm Anna. You can speak with me. I'm here, and it was very strange because they addressed all the emails to Nuno, and I was copied in the emails, but they addressed emails to Nuno asking for something, and I will answer, and they will thank you and ask Nuno again things. So. But it's a culture thing, and again, I know that sometimes I'm too much. I speak with the hands, I touch people, and then I need to realize that I cannot do that in that country. So I'm constraining myself, and it makes me to realize where I am. So it's not just the culture, but where I am, and the position and the role that I have being a woman in the room of men, and have a role of leadership, and sometimes it's very hard.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Patricia, you also shared something about working with international teams, right? You also
Yes.
have
I work currently, so before COVID, I started working for European companies, and currently I'm working for an Italian company, and I'm the only woman in my team. We are 35 people. It's incredible that working remotely and with different culture, I never faced the same behaviors that I have working in Portugal. So in Portugal, with Portuguese team, with Portuguese people, I felt the thing of being a woman and the lack of respect and the lack of attention for being a woman. And now, probably because I also have some seniority, I have some knowledge, I have some work experience, I'm heard differently. And that is also, I think, that when we have experience, we are seen differently. But working to other countries, European countries, I never faced, until today, that kind of experience, but I faced it in Portugal. What is strange, because I believe that in Portugal we still have some mentalities to change, not only from men but also from women, about the working with women and the respect that we have to have with each other, and the fact that we work together for the same objective and not against each other. So we need to understand that there's a place to everyone. So we can, as Klaudia is saying, and also Rita saying, it's step by step. We will all get there. So it will be a place for everyone, but have the respect between each other. It will be a good thing.
Thank you. Joana, regarding this reality that Patricia just shared, I believe that we are evolving comparing to 10 years ago, right? In Portugal, from what I know. But do you have any advice for or any strategy on how to help to empower women investing in Portugal? So any advice for the companies?
Okay, I think that we should create in the companies some respectful and safe environment where everyone can be whatever they want, not only for women, and most of in our days we are talking in the gender. If I want to be a man, be a woman, be a person only, that we need to adapt to the reality of our days. Also, in the companies we should create testing communities or women communities that can give support to each other, like mentorship, where we can share experience from professionals with more seniors, also to give guidance to the new girls that arrive, not only girls, everyone, because I think that we, even if it is the woman testing, I think this problem is for women, for men, for everyone. So I think we should have a mentorship for everyone that want to grow and want to develop themselves. also in the process of hiring, we should create remove some bias that we have, not selecting if it is a man or if it is a woman. We should remove that bias from the processes.
Okay, good. Klaudia, from my experience, it's not just for women, but also for women, we tend to lack confidence.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, not definitely.
Yeah,
I did. Let me
I think
rephrase.
we all
I
did.
did.
I think we all did in certain moment in our career. Do you think the training and talking about ISTB can somehow help to close that gap?
And from my personal experience and from what I see in our company, so I don't know if it is country by country a little different, I see that the girls or the women are higher qualified on the paper basis, have a higher degree, have more trainings than the male colleagues in comparison. And I think that is something, okay, let me that I did, yeah, just looking at my stuff, just to make sure that I'm good enough for the job, just to make sure. And I think when I realized that if I want to get to a new step or to a new position, that I will never be able to fulfill all the requirements when I want to do the step. You will never be able to do that. If you want to wait till you have all the skills that you need, the opportunity is gone. So we need to be confident to take that step, and we need to be allowed to make mistakes. Yeah, done that a lot, so allowed to make mistakes, and we need to honestly be brave and do it. I think the dear men, yeah, I think you're also qualified, but I think if you look at a job description, and I discussed it a couple of times with my colleagues, and in our company we're perhaps 30% women and 70% men. If you have a list of qualifications that you need to do, and my male colleagues say, oh yeah, I have this one, more than 50%, I can do it, yeah. And if I talk to a female colleague, she's like, oh, I only have 80%, I cannot yet do it. So it's exactly this difference, and I think this is a mind thing. So I think we need to be more bold and just do it, just try it and do it. And it's not that we're more dumb, we're just not brave enough just to go ahead.
But I
We
think
have
that,
more sorry.
Go. You can go.
I was just saying we are more afraid of taking the initiative and the first step.
Yeah.
We need to push
Yeah.
for the first step.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also what Klaudia is saying, it's go together with what Rita was saying, that during the interview and Joana, sorry, yeah. So Joana was saying during the hiring we look a lot for the CVs, and women need to be prepared, so they take more courses, more training, etc. to be really prepared. So I think this is also from the schools and from the companies to understand that we give the same opportunities. You don't need to be super expert in everything. So we all have that opportunity, even though you don't have the master or the certification in something.
Yeah. And of course, right, we got some questions to discuss. So in preparation for this meeting, I was also thinking, what could really help to push women?
Yep.
And I think the coaching part is important. The awareness during the interviews is also important. But from what I see, it's also important to lead by example, so that you see there are some women who can actually do it, who did it, and were still alive and not looking too bad, right? So you can do it.
For me, it helped a lot to have a role model.
Yes.
If she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. And then also some for the companies. For example, our company has a kindergarten. So a company kindergarten where you can.
It didn't disappear. It's somewhere.
Yeah, from very little. So from being what is that term in English? Like 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so from very small, and that helps. And also giving part-time jobs, not giving not only women but also men, but giving part-time jobs and not seeing it as a stop to their career. That's another thing. Yeah, so that you have the opportunity. And I think honestly that with COVID, with the possibility to do home office work, where you don't have to drive, spend an hour in transit every day, because an hour more is an hour more paying the nanny. So you can do it at home. That also helps. So I think right now we have a very good setup where women can excel. My opinion. Chaka, superpowers.
Women power.
Yes.
And I think that every one of us is afraid of being here also. So I think we shouldn't not we feel like we are the only one that are feeling this. And most of the time we have, I don't know if you have, I have the syndrome of imposter.
Yep.
So the first thing that when asked me to be here, I said, I don't have nothing to say to you. I'm a bit shy.
But I think that's the main problem on our days, as women are more afraid and more shy. And Rita was saying that she's not afraid of speaking loud and make herself present. And there are a lot of women who get into their shell and don't say anything, don't ask questions. It's really important in being a QA to ask questions. So we tend to close in ourselves, and we have to be, do not be afraid and step forward and go after. So.
We are almost reaching the end, at least regarding the blog. Rita was talking about the role model, right? And as we are celebrating the women in testing, do you have anyone that you would like to elect as a role model? For example, in my case, looking for women, I was quite impressed with Isabel Evans, and for me that became like a reference point. But do you also have someone that you'd like to name and say thank you for the impact, the positive impact?
I have to say also Isabel, because of the automation. He's a specialist in automation, so Isabel Evans is the name.
Well, I think smaller than you.
Okay.
So, my role model was someone that I was working with, because for me it was tangible. She was there. I could speak with her and teach me how you do that. Unfortunately, she's no longer in KA, but she's still our colleague. For all of you, I think that you already know that I'm talking about Liliana. And yes, she was my role model for a long time because she has kids. She does a lot of things at the same time. She's in 2 meetings at the same time. So I just, when we were in Vodafone Ireland, she was my team leader, and I was sitting to her and I'm just absorbing everything. That teach me, how do you do it? I want to do that, and that's my role model. It would be Liliana. So she's not here, but thank you, Liliana.
Yeah, I think I don't really have a role model in that sense. I had very good female instructors at the university where I thought, wow, they really know what they're talking about. So that was quite impressive. But in testing, I don't know. No, not really.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, we can agree on that.
Yeah, but I think you are being too modest, because I know that some people will now look to you.
As a role model.
But that's different, right? That's a different perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So for me, as Klaudia is saying, there's no role model, but there's a lot of inspiration.
Yeah.
For example, in Girls Testing this week, we are discussing about the role of the women in technology, and it's incredible that technology starts basically with a woman. There is a really important woman in technology, Ada Lovelace. I don't know if you heard about. So it's like picking this inspiration and say, okay, at that time there was no such information, people to talk, and they were able to go so far and to do so different things. So more in an inspiration than in the role model. Also, because women in leading position in QA area, it's still a few to have some important role models. But I think that, as Joana was saying, for us being here today, we expect, I think I can talk for all of us, to be an inspiration for all of you to achieve some of your objectives, to go after and to be to achieve your goals, and to be a person also that can inspire other women to achieve their careers and their objectives.
Yeah, and actually the comparison with Ada Lovelace is very interesting, because back in that time, women didn't have any rights, no voting right, no right
Exactly.
to own property, nothing. And despite all of that, she managed to do the work. So that is very
More
impressive.
inspiration.
more.
Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah, looking to the General Assembly, so the ISTQB, it looks like the United Nations.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
So it's like 50,
69.
69 different
69.
countries,
Yeah.
and around a table. And looking back, I think the number of women it's increasing. I don't know if you have the same opinion, but I see that we have more now, and also in leading positions, like yourself or like Joana leading the Portuguese board.
Yeah.
It's still a challenge.
I think it's still very much a challenge. We have an increasing number of women that are around, that are participating in the meetings. If I look at the number of formal positions like chair and vice chair, and if I look at the proportion of women to men, we are in pretty bad shape. Pretty bad shape. We
Not yet
have
there.
very, I don't know, I would need to look through the numbers, but I think perhaps 10%.
I think it was the first time in
Yeah.
ISTV history with a woman leading.
Yeah, it's the exec position, but I was talking about the working group chair
Yeah,
positions and the
working
vice chair positions. And we have elections in May, and the number of women that showed up for the, I think there are 23 positions. I think there are 3 women. So
Oh.
it's not really brilliant, but we need to work on it. I wouldn't say it's a struggle. I think that's the wrong word, but we need to be aware of it. We need to foster it and get more people in and really talk to them and ask them to do stuff. I think that it's being a little shy and not wanting to step forward, but I think that's not that's not how it should be. And for me, I'm fine with it if we are all role models for you, but I think more important is that we're still human beings, despite having superpowers. But we're still all very normal. We all struggle with, at least let me just rephrase it to myself, I struggle with keeping the household up to date, because especially my sons don't see that they need to do stuff. So there is a constant challenge there, and it's still tricky and it's still challenging, but you can manage, and it's nothing I'm very honest about that, it's nothing what you couldn't do either. You could manage. Just go ahead and do it.
Yes. I have to share that I never thought to be president of PSTQB. Never dreamed of it because I thought I have no, I don't have, how do I say, I don't have jeito, I don't have
The ability
ability to lead association like PSTQB. And one day, the previous president asked me, why not you go to president of PSTQB? And I said, me? No. There is a lot of people here. Why not the other members? And he said, no, you can do it. And I think that is a very important thing to do. Have someone around you to say you can do it. Believe in yourself. And I hope that in this room we can have the next president of PSTQB and can give continuity.
And
to-
ISTQB.
and give
Yes, of
continuity
course.
to the work that we are doing. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Last 2 questions because we are already over time. In our days, everyone is talking about AI and the new challenge, and the testers will be that. It's not the first time that we heard that. So, as a woman, how do you see that? Do you see any special challenge, or it will be the same and it will still be around?
Me?
Yeah, Klaudia, let's start with you.
Yeah, I've been around for a long time, and this question of testing is if testers are going to go away has been already there when we're talking about the introduction of test automation. I have like a deja vu. Yeah, they said, test automation. What are we going to do? We're going to lose our jobs. What the heck? No, we didn't. You need to set up the frameworks. You need to write the scripts. You need to maintain the scripts. You need to do smart self-healing tests whatsoever. And I think for me, AI is going to be the next big thing, and this will be a supporting tool. it will change the way how we work, like with test automation, but it will not make testing go away. Never, ever. Never, ever. We have to be, I mean, it's not only that AI can support us with the recognition of objects on the GUI or with an analysis of hundreds of defect reports and stuff like that, but also the testing of AI systems, I think, is really, really interesting. How do you test if that thing is halfway reasonably giving you answers?
Mm-hmm.
So I think testing will not go away. My perception is actually, given the fact that we have more and more systems, more and more software in more and more systems, you know, go back 20 years. Just imagine, you're not that old, but just go back 20 years. We have a lot of software in cars, a lot of software in cars, in refrigerators, on the mobiles anyway, which was not there before. And the connectivity, the digitalization and the connectivity is increasing, so the complexity of the systems is increasing. And if we want to have safe applications, especially with the cybersecurity aspect, you have to take care of it. QA and testing will not go away. Perhaps that's my kind of sorting of the world. Perhaps we will have like quality A applications and quality B. And quality A is hopefully all the banking stuff, all the defense stuff. You know, there was the newspaper, the scandal on the German defense system this week. This is, oh my, that should not happen, right? So I think perhaps we will have like high quality, where you need a high quality, and then some Candy Crusher app on the mobile here, that can show a blue screen if it wants, but it won't go away. I don't think so.
I agree with you. It will allow us to focus on different things. It will facilitate our life. It will not replace us.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I do agree. I don't have nothing to say. As I was saying, the things will get more difficult. The application will be more complex. So everything will be more complex. So AI can help us on helping us to avoid time on some
trivial things.
Exactly, and to focus more specifically in those kind of situations, and to prevent bigger accidents and some strange things that sometimes we hear in the news. Yeah.
And I think to continue with this evolution, we need to learn. We can't stop our learning path, so we need constantly be aware of the trends, the innovations, the new tools, the new methodologies that are being used, so that we can accompany this evolution with that.
Yeah. Just a side remark. When I started to study, we were the last class that still did programming by punching cards. So by programming by punching cards to the way you're teaching and learning computer science at the university right now, that is a long way. It changed quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure. All of us that have been here in this business a long time, we can see the evolution.
Yeah,
we can see
definitely.
the difference, right? I still remember having only one laptop, one computer, one desktop, not a laptop, a desktop in a room that was larger than this, only one computer in the corner with internet connectivity. And we use it for the best purpose, that was to do cyber attacks. For learning purpose, of course. So that was still amazing. Oh, we are connected. And
Technology evolves fast.
Yeah.
And I think this is also the interesting part, because we need to follow, and this is what Joana said, right? It's evolving fast, and we need to follow. With it, no, we can't.
Yeah. That's quite a very good point, and I'm a strong believer on that we cannot stop. We need to learn.
Yeah.
We need to be, to keep pushing every day to learn. And I talk about Isabel as a role model, and that's, I still remember when I was in my first conference with her. She was just in the corner, shy, and when you see her in the stage, full of trust, but she was shy, just in the corner of the conference, just looking. And then I approached her and I started to talk with her and said, "Oh, I'm still learning." I said, "Wow, she's still learning." And she has all this knowledge and all this experience, and she was still learning, and she's keep learning. I don't know. She already passed the age to be retired, I believe, but she's still learning. So that for me, it's really a role model from that perspective. And I agree with what you said. The systems are becoming more and more complex. Right? In the days to deploy something, it was just copy a file, and that was it. Now we need to have a huge team, and it's not just the simple processes as that. Even with CI/CD, with pipelines, with all of that, it's really becoming a complex project. Just to deploy something. So hopefully the women's superpowers to be able to deal with all this complexity will help us in the future. I count with that. So I don't want to hold you because I know that some of you have other plans and you need to do something else. Just one last question to close this meetup. To everyone in the audience, what would be your advice? If you are able to inspire someone, or if you will be able to mentor someone, what will be that advice that you will give them?
I believe, sorry.
Yeah, no, start. You can start.
I believe that we should have passion for what we do. If we don't like what we do, we are not in the right place. So to do the things right, we should have the passion for the tasks that we are doing. Also, confidence. So we should believe, don't be afraid, go ahead and believe in yourself. And share. We need to share everything, because when we share with others our knowledge, our experience, we are growing and make others growing also. So it is very important to share. Don't save all the information only for yourselves. Share everything that you could. Okay, it's that.
Yeah, that's why based on that I decided to create my project, the Gap Together, to share the information, because I wasn't, I thought that, okay, for so many time I learned so much from the community that I'm into, the girls testing, the Girls Portugal, and other people mentoring and so on. So I thought that would be a nice thing to do, to share in a volunteer way and a free way the information that I have. So as Joana was saying, share with the community. There's space for everyone. Keep learning, not only about testing, but everything that it's related with product, with technology. Be interested, so go after other information. Do not think, oh, this is not related with my job, I don't have nothing to do with that, there's no need to learn. No, go and learn, because one day you will remember and that information will be needed, and when you sit in a space like that, you have something to say. So that also gives you the confidence and the empowerment that you need to go after. And I talk to women and also to men in here in the room. So be confident and keep learning to achieve your goals. And do not be afraid, as Klaudia said, to go after your dreams or your objectives, even though you think you do not tick all the
boxes.
Yeah. So go after that.
Yeah, hard to top that. Yeah, I think we need to continue learning, but please, we don't need to learn everything before we can do the next step. You can do it. Just be brave and do it. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. And again, men just don't listen. I think they're just because they're just louder. So they're not smarter. They're not smarter than we are. We're on the same level. They're just behaving a little different. So be brave. Do it.
I will agree with you. I think that we are allowed to be afraid, of course, but don't let that fear stop you. If I look back, all the challenges that self-focus made me, I think I was not prepared for them. If I look back, I was very afraid on accepting that, but I did it. I went there like today.
You managed. You did fine.
So, like I said to Joelle, yes, I'm afraid, but it's not going to stop me. So don't let your fears stop you. Just go. And there's always someone else if you are going to follow, there's always someone there to help you on the following. So just go. Just do it.
Just do
And just to add, do not be afraid to hear the no.
Yeah.
We listen a lot of no's through our life. I think that we all share the same. So do not be afraid to hear the no. Learn from the no and get that lesson to be better and to understand where you can grow and where you can go to be more.
So we are in the end. Okay, so we already passed almost 15 minutes from the time. I would like to use this opportunity to thank you all for being here, but also for being role models, mentors, someone that will inspire the not just the current community, but also the next generations. I'm sure that they will also learn from the experience from the previous generation. So thank you for being here, and also for all of you that joined this meetup. Hopefully we will have new events or next in the future, and I will hope to see you again. Meanwhile, please do not forget also the communities that already exist. Patricia is in some of them. We also have the Portuguese board, where we will have a conference by the end of the year, November.
Yes.
And we are working hard on the program. And Lara, I don't know if it will be you or not this time. We will have a call for papers, right?
Yes.
Not only for women, but only for the Portuguese community. So please be bold, not be afraid to be there on stage. It's not as afraid. It's not something scared, right? It's also a very nice.
very nice.
It's also a very nice stage. If you jump to the stage, you will see lots of energy from the audience. So please do not be afraid and submit papers for that. I'm working with the program committee from a different conference, and we just closed the call for papers with 100 papers. 100 that will need to be reviewed in the next month. So we are not yet there for the Portuguese testing conference, but I challenge all of you to submit a paper, to be brave enough and to believe that you will have something that is valuable for the community, that's something that it's good to share. Okay, so don't be afraid to share your experience as we are today. And also ISTQB, as Klaudia said, it's not a closed community. You need to be engaged with the local community, but then you can also be engaged with these
the international level.
United Nations of testing, because it's really also experienced by itself to be able to deal with all these different cultures in the same place, in the same room. So I challenge you all to take a place on that, to not just sit, watch and listen, but also to put your hands and start doing things and start contributing back to the community. So once again, also from my side, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you. Well, do you have any questions? Really is asking if you have any questions.
No.
If you still have a question, and if you are not, yeah, you have one question. Okay.
What do you think that are the skills that will help you to get to the place where you are now?
In fact, I can talk to myself. A long time ago, it was said to me that it probably won't be possible to get into an international challenge. And the fact that I was persistent and I was resilient, it helped me to get into there. And also the suggestion that I gave to not only, as Claudia said, you don't need to know everything, but you need to know a little bit of everything, and that might help you to achieve and to go after what you want. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I would go along with that. Being persistent, being good at what you're doing, and then you can slowly grow, or fast grow. But you know, I always had the impression, perhaps I was fortunate, I don't know, that I was judged by the results and by the work I did, not by the gender. And that was very helpful. So if you did good work, if you performed really well and the customers liked you, We of course also had stupid customers, but yeah, then they would appreciate that and help you and push you a little bit along. So I think being persistent and actually not shying away. And when I did this job in Munich, my husband said, "Go, you will regret it." But actually, the first trigger was coming from my mom. She said, "Why do you want to stick in Nuremberg? Why? Just do it." And I thought, wow, I have a baby with 1.5, and my mother tells me I should go away. Great, I can try. So yeah.
I think that's it, being strong and
Yeah.
at least try.
Yeah.
At least try.
I think that we should try every time, and every day we should improve what we didn't do so well in the previous day. So all the new days, I think today I will do better, and that is good. And once very important is don't want to fall some steps. So baby steps, it's better than a greater step.
I see that one of the biggest advantage of having women working, like more in the market, is that we add some diversity to any career. So I would like to know what would be a women characteristic that would add a different perspective to the QA job. Like, what would be, we see the world in a different way, so what we can add to the QA as a woman.
I think one of the things that already we talked is the multitasking. So women can make a lot of things at the same time, and also multifaceting. So we can adapt whatever we need. Another thing is the attention to the detail. So we can see always when our colleague cuts her hair, but the men don't see it.
All of them.
So if we can do this in the software, we can write, right?
I think we can have empathy as well. I believe that women tend to be more empathic, and it will help you living with the team, with the client, with the other stakeholders. Put yourself in the shoes of the user and in the end user, and it will help you growing and understand what it's needed. I think it's a good strength.
I think it helps if you have a mixed team with different genders, that in total it's more than the single parts. But I think there are also some cultural limits. We had an example where we had an older male coming from the Arabic area and a younger girl coming from the European. We had serious issues there. We had serious issues. So, wow, that was experience. It was. But I think in total, yeah, I think it's better if you just have, the mixture. It's like the different role models, how people behave. I think if you have a mixture, the entire team performs better.
And I think that also the fact that when a job is given to a woman, you can be sure that the thing will be done. Even though she thinks that this might not be possible, the work will be done. So there's that confidence that also helps us, being a woman, as Ana saying, we are multitasking, we do a lot of things, and based on the management, we will be able to achieve and to get the result that we were asked for.
May I add something?
Please.
I don't know if you're
No,
allowed.
of course.
Okay,
I'm not going to talk.
You are allowed.
There are women characteristics that prevail over man characteristics, and man characteristics that prevail over women characteristics. This is a fact. And let me give you an example. The United Nations Agency for Refugees, when they distribute food to refugees, in every country, being in Africa, in Asia, in Latin America, they know that if they give the food to the women and families, it's more likely that the food will reach the people in need, the elderly, children. Okay? And in every country, they know that it's more likely, if they give the food to man, it's more likely that the man might change the food for alcohol or guns. Okay? Now, so there is a trend amongst women for equity, for honesty, for taking care of everyone. And this reminds me my experience with women leadership. Most women that lead teams I work for tend to be more honest, tend to be more inclusive. And it's, you don't feel so much tension. So it's, you have to lead like a woman. Please don't try to lead like a man.
You know, thank you so much for that comment, because when I was asked to step up as an ISTQB president, I was also very scared. And then I've been doing it for 10 months now, and I have the impression that I'm a facilitator, trying to get everybody together, get everybody on board, negotiating agreements and stuff like that. So I don't see myself as the alpha male. This is not what I want to do. This is not my position. So I really do think exactly what you said. I think there is this difference too. Being more comprehensive, being more trying to get everybody involved and trying to make as many people happy as possible, but not just staying up there and saying, here. No. This is not it. You're very right. You're very right.
I'm feeling like we need also a man in testing. I'm feeling some pain. So, any more questions? No? We still have some food outside? Okay, so for the ones that don't need to rush to pick up the kids or whatever, if you wanted to join us and to just spend some more minutes with a coffee and to finish the food, helping us to finish the food, not just distributing, but helping to finish it, please join us. And once again, thank you for
very
being
much.